Welcome! Today we're going to show you how to participate in a new global economy based on cooperative economics, where you can raise unlimited funds without ever having to pay back loans, principal, or interest. Sometimes, however, it's interesting to first look backwards before we go forward. 200 years ago, 92% of people were self-employed. Today, 92% of people are employees. Before mortgages, people would help each other build homes and barns. First, you'd help someone else build their home in the community, and then they would help you build yours. Planting crops, the same thing. People helped each other plant each other's fields and harvest as a community in the fall. Now, most people's homes and businesses are owned by this guy. A new economy is emerging. People are beginning to work together again, creating wealth through what we call cooperative economics. Rather than doing it all by yourself, paycheck to paycheck. The world's changing. First there was the internet, Facebook, now mobile phones, and crowdfunding. So what is crowdfunding? Well, Wikipedia says crowdfunding is the practice of funding a project or a venture by raising monetary contributions from a large number of people, typically via the internet. And in Forbes magazine, crowdfunding was said to be the next big trend. Crowdfunding is a worldwide phenomenon that is now helping to make the dreams of people just like you and me come true every day, to the tune of $5.1 billion in 2013, well over $10 billion in 2014, and the World Bank estimates it reaching over $96 billion within the next 10 years. Crowdfunding is a powerful new global economy. In 2013, Facebook and crowdfunding were neck and neck. Facebook grossed just about $6 billion, and crowdfunding grossed just a little over $5 billion. Now, with crowdfunding reaching over $10 billion in 2014, it has outperformed Facebook by billions and billions of dollars. Bigger than Facebook? Now that's powerful. Powerful enough to fund any project you may have, big or small. Let me ask you, do you have a dream, a project, an aspiration that's close to your heart? What is your dream? It could be starting or expanding a business, nurturing spiritual pursuits, creating projects to make a better world, funding home improvements, funding college loans, weddings, buying a new car or a home, creating a retirement fund, or just paying off loans, bills, mortgages, etc. Today, we're going to share with you a revolutionary way to fund your dreams and in the process help many other people do the same. If you Google crowdfunding, you'll find there are over 500 crowdfunding websites on the internet today. They all have four things in common. They all charge you a fee or a percentage of your donations for using their platforms. 2, they require you to do all your own marketing. This means you'll have to contact hundreds, if not thousands of people through your own efforts to ask for contributions. They all have time limits, and they all use addition rather than multiplication to gather donations. So for the most part, you're pretty much on your own, and only a small percentage of people and projects actually get funded. But not anymore. Welcome to our intentional global community built upon our world-class shared crowdfunding platform. Our shared platform is different. We don't have any fees. There are no time limits. We share contributions globally within our intentional community. No restrictions on project categories. And your project can potentially receive hundreds, if not thousands, of simultaneous contributions it would have never received on other crowdfunding platforms. And here's why: the power of multiplication. Our shared community platform is really quite different because we use multiplication and not addition. And this is what I mean. In addition, let's say you go get 4 people to make a donation, and then you go find another 4 on any of the other platforms, and maybe another 4 new people that make a donation, and another 4, and that means 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4, you've gotten 16 donations. Well, on our platform, we use multiplication. You help 4 people put up their projects and teach them to find other 4 people to put up their projects, who find another 4, who each then find another 4. And you can see 4 find 4, who find 4, who find 4, and they all are part of our global community of intentional crowdfunders, and we're sharing contributions. You can potentially receive contributions from 256 people with just starting with 4 people that you initially introduced. Very powerful. On our shared platform, we voluntarily choose to contribute to other people's projects, and in return we receive from an unlimited number of other crowdfunders. And here's some of the projects on our platform. Here's a gentleman who needs some help with medical issues, a woman who's making an album, somebody who's doing organic farming, a woman in need and help with children and shelter, somebody who wants to make a second home, a ministry that's doing outreach, further education, in this case music, or helping with animals. Just about any project that you have, we can have on our platform and help you with. Yes, that's right. Now you can raise unlimited funds via crowdfunding for your favorite project, dream, or personal aspiration, and in the process share it forward to help other family, friends, and businesses and organizations do the same. This truly is the spirit of people helping people. This is a personal invitation for you to join our intentional community of crowdfunders and begin funding your dreams today. So, would you like to know how our global crowdfunding donation distribution formula actually works? Our platform is based on a give and then receive formula. By sharing contributions one time on each step with projects that came before you, your project qualifies to receive contributions on the same corresponding generation steps from unlimited project managers in your community that come after you. And here's a good example. Let's say this is my project or your project, and the person that invited me to be involved in this had to do with vets, and that's the first floor above me. So I make a contribution to his project, and I find my friend Bill and other people who have other projects to come follow after me, and I can receive donations from all those people that are following after. And you can see how the formulation goes. I then make another contribution to floor 2, which is involved with children's homes, and I find some people, and Bill finds other people, this in case John and other people with projects that follow after. And you can kind of see, you make a contribution forward and receive from that person that comes after you and many other projects on that same level. And it just keeps going like that. This just shows you how that works. So before we get into the exact example of showing how the donation distribution formula works in detail, it's important that I share with you that this is not a business or income opportunity. Our donation distribution formula is purely based on crowdfunding, and we make no claims or guarantees of contributions that your project will receive. Each individual's project's success depends largely on his or her commitment, desire, and personal efforts. Please note that the following example is not typical. In the real world, it will never happen like this. This is just a hypothetical example. Some project managers will refer to, some one, some none, but some may refer many more, so each situation will be unique. Your total financial risk is only the initial contribution that you donate to your referrer's project, which is non-refundable and a personal choice. In this presentation, we just want to give you a taste of how it works. We have other presentations that go into more detail. The most important thing to understand is that your efforts can be magnified and leveraged by participating in our global shared platform. The following example that we're going to show is based on you referring 2 project managers who each make a one-time contribution of $200 to your project. Each new project manager refers 2 additional project managers that do the same. As additional contributions are received, every project manager steps up and progressively funds all 4 floors in this example. Note that there are 3 types of donations. You can receive 100% direct donations for all personally referred project managers from first floor donations. 2, you can receive 50% primary donations from project managers on floor 2 through 7 within your community as they step up and fund floors 2 through 7. You'll see this in our graphic example that's coming up. And third, in addition, you can receive two 25% secondary donations from project managers within your community that will be explained in greater detail later in this presentation. Okay, here's what it looks like. This is a pictorial representation of our donation distribution formula. Notice that this little man's walking up these steps. You can follow my little pointer here. And there's steps that are involved. There are actually 21 steps, and there's 6 floors. There's 7 floors. And these are the floors, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 3 steps on each floor. And we do have a $40 accelerator, which just helps give enough money in the first floor to make all the numbers kind of work really beautifully together. So imagine that you're building a building with 7 floors, and there are 3 steps on each floor. And on this side is what you give. You make these donations to this project manager on the first floor, and then you make these donations to the project manager on the second floor above you, and so forth. This is the side of what you potentially receive, and we'll go through these numbers really carefully. Notice that 100% of the donations on the first floor go to you, and on floors 2 through 7 it's split. 50% go to you when you qualify, and 50%, which are 2 25% donations, are shared with 2 other project managers in the community. So that's pretty much the rough out of it. And as you can see, these are the numbers when you add up all the floor together. These 4 components add up to $200. These 3 add up to $320. These 3 add up to $640, and they actually double each time they go up. As you notice, the floors get twice as big, and each of the steps are the increments that you do. So that's pretty much how it looks in formation. So let's go to the next slide. So let's say in our example, you bring 2 people that you introduce to our community platform, and they get involved and make a $200 donation to your project. You receive $400. This shows you kind of how the money can work. So you have $400 because you receive 100% of the first floor. Now, in order to step up and fund a project that came before you, the second floor, if you add all these 3 steps up, it's $320. You've received $400. And now, out of the money that you've received, you can share within the community with projects that came before you. And you can share this $320 and cover these 3 steps. That leaves you, of course, $80, as you see here in this example, that's in your pocket for your project. And you've now shared forward $320. Well, we go up with this model. These 2 people in our model find 2 other people each, so that they're now, through multiplication, you have potentially 4 people on your second level, second generation here. And as you can see, now we move into the other formula. We're only talking about, in this example, we're only going to talk about half of the funding that happens. The other half we'll talk about later. Right now we're only talking about this 50% primary donation. So when you have 4 potential people, and this floor is $320, half of that, that's where these gold numbers come in, is $160. 4 times $160 gives you $640. And when you add the $80 that you had in your pocket, that gives you the $720, as you see it now that you have in your pocket. Now you share that forward again, and that's $640 for this next floor, which is a lot more expensive. As you see, they double, and that goes to the project manager that was that came in 3 before you, basically. And so that's kind of how it works. And as you see, when we do the math, you're still left with $80 in your pocket. You still have money towards your project, but you've gone up through the 3rd floor now. Now, when these 4 people go out and find 2 people each, then you have 8 people potentially in your organization on your third level, as you see here. Now, half of 640 is 320. So when you have 8 people potentially, when they fund their 3rd floor, you can receive this amount, and you can see that it adds up to $2,560. When you add the $80, it's just a little bit more. Now you're funding up to the 4th floor the same way that we've done all along, and you can see that it leaves you $1,360 for your project. So you're starting to have some good money for your project with not very many people involved. Now when you go up, these 8 people find 2 people each, just as in our model. This is a hypothetical mathematical model just to show you how the math works. You can see how the numbers work. Now you have potentially 16 people, and half of 1280 is 640. It's a potential donation that you could reach of $10,240. When you add what was carrying over here, it's a little over $11,000. When you make a donation now to the 5th floor, covering the projects that came before you, you can see that you end up with a nice amount of money. It's a little over $9,000 potential here. Now, remember that for these 16 people, in order to step up to their fourth floor, they're going to each need to have people following behind them stepping up to their third floor. So it really will take some more people to get this amount of donation. And as you can see, we go into just showing that when these 16 find 2, we don't give the numbers because they become very big numbers very quickly here. And we show all the way up that only with 128 people, you can be receiving this kind of donation if they follow this whole thing. Because these 3 floors now get funded, which will push these 16 people to be making this kind of donation on their 4th floor. Very powerful, and we're only speaking about half of the money flow that's donated. The other half we're going to talk about here in a minute. So this kind of gives you a little idea of how the math works and how it's self-funding. Basically, you're sharing in contributions that you receive, and you only have to go through these steps one time, and then as more and more people that you refer get involved in this project together, in this community crowdfunding, it becomes very powerful. Some people are starting with as many as 20, 30, even 50. We have one person close to 70 people that he's introduced to this. So you can see these numbers can get very powerful very quick. This is just starting with a model that we shared of 2 who find 2. So now let's talk about the other 50%, the 25% and 25% other donations that happen that equal the other half, the 50%. When you receive a 50% primary donation on floors 2 through 7, as shown in the previous examples, a 25% simultaneous secondary donation is paid to your referrer's project, and an additional 25% simultaneous secondary donation is paid to their referrer's project. Okay, let's talk about what this looks like to you when you start receiving this. And here's how you can receive these two 25% secondary donations. For every project manager you personally refer, you can receive a 25% simultaneous secondary donation each time they receive their 50% primary donations from floors 2 through 7. Extremely powerful. And we're going to get into a little more clear way of explaining that in the next slide. This is going to be a little hard to understand, but try to listen carefully. In addition, you can also receive another 25% simultaneous secondary donation, because we have 2 of these, by the way, each time your personally referred project managers receive a primary donation from their floors 2 through 7. Let's get into what that looks like a little more simply. Here's how it looks to you. In our earlier example, if you refer 2 project managers who each refer 2 project managers, now these 2 each refer 2, that means they've referred 4, and your original 2, it totals 6 project managers that you've referred, what we call the father and the grandfather. You referred 2 and they referred 2 each, meaning that you have 6 within this group. You can receive a 25% simultaneous secondary donation from all of these primary donations these 6 project managers receive from floors 2 through 7. Extremely powerful. Imagine what's possible if you personally refer 12 active project managers over the next year. Okay, going back to our original example, as you saw, remember we talked about half and half. When you add in the contributions from all the 50% simultaneous shared donations, you can potentially double or triple the original example we showed. There's an automatic placement tool programmed into the system that we recommend everyone utilize. This will automatically create a community structure like the example we have just shown you. All funds received are immediately placed into your electronic wallet. You can start with a $50, $100, or $200 donation. We recommend $200 if you can. It's simple. Starting with a $200 contribution can help accelerate funding your project 4 times faster. You know, it's just simple math. It takes 4 project managers donating $50 to raise $200 as opposed to 1 donating $200. So you need 1/4 the amount of people, and it goes 4 times faster. Remember what the great motivational speaker and leader Zig Ziglar said? He said, if you help enough other people get what they want, you will get what you want. This is the magic of our revolutionary shared donation distribution formula. We succeed in funding our projects by helping and supporting others to fund theirs. And this is really important. On all the other crowdfunding projects, you're making donations to that project and they're competing with each other for those donations. In our platform, in this community crowdfunding platform, basically you're not looking so much for donations for your project as looking for other project managers that you can help get their projects funded. And as their projects get funded because of our donation distribution formula, yours project will get funded on its own accord. So we're not looking so much for a handout as much as for people that we can help them get their projects funded, and then ours happens on its own accord. So how many friends do you have on your phone directory? How many email contacts do you have in your laptop? How many friends do you have on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or LinkedIn? Can you send 10 private texts per day? How about 10 emails per day? Or post on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or LinkedIn? You know, if you can do these very simple tasks and invite people to watch one of these presentations, we have them recorded up on the internet, you can easily put in motion an internet tidal wave that can change your life and finances forever. Instead of personally finding thousands of donors for your project like all the other platforms require, just introduce 12 people who want to participate in funding their own projects. Remember, this is not sales. Rather, it's an invitation for others to raise money via crowdfunding for their own projects. Even if it takes you a year to find 12 project managers, that's one per month, or let's say 3 months to find 12, one per week, or better yet, if you can, find all 12 in a month, that's 3 per week. Fast track your success by simply emailing, texting, and Facebooking all your contacts with an invitation today. It's just a matter of how fast it goes. Finding 12 people to participate in a month is actually doable, and it will greatly accelerate your success. We invite you to join our global community of crowdfunders. You can start today. Join for free, add your dream project to the website, make a one-time small out-of-pocket contribution, begin sharing your project with others, help others do the same, keep stepping up and sharing it forward. So, what's your dream? Crowdfunding can happen very fast. You know, it doesn't have to take years. Rather, it can happen in weeks or even months. Live your dreams in Technicolor. Start your project today. Get back with the person who was kind enough to share this presentation with you. Thank you.